Hello everybody, welcome to what is the ever-changing world of Marvel Contest of Champions. The stories in the MCN today will probably change. There's context changes that drop overnight. I'll schedule this in and go and do a working day and then come back and then everything's changed again. Stuff dropped at 3 a.m. on Thursday morning for me. Like there's a lot of things that kind of like are just kind of changing all the time. But there are some bugs, some things going well, some things going badly, some things that will be changing, some things that are very tight time frames based on when they were put into game, when they have to be kind of like played out. Mind blown and all that stuff. Let's get into the show, shall we? So one of the first things which Kabam have not addressed or kind of looked into is why May's Master finished early. Something that was very weird was it finished like just before the end of kind of like, I think it was like 3 p.m. or something UK time. And I was thinking, well, surely I've got another 3 hours to do this because the quest ends. No, it was kind of scheduled in a certain way. Kabam haven't said why. Maybe I should have been proactive to get it done. But there's a lot of stuff that's going on in MCOC at the moment to try and keep up to date with, especially if you've got a full-time job, got other commitments, school, whatever. It's a difficult time, but no address from Kabam on that one. I really hope they would deal with this and kind of say, well, why was it scheduled in a certain way? It was. There's also further bugs when it comes to the missing 11-year anniversary calendar. Still, some people are not seeing this calendar. It is really weird why that is the case. Still no kind of like word on, like it's been fixed or said to be fixed, but it's not necessarily there for a lot of players. Well, there are a small amount of players that don't get to see it. Still don't know why. Kabam said it's fixed. It quite obviously isn't fixed for a lot of players. So there's something more that meets the eye to this. I thought I'd also check to see if there's any like update. There's no hot fix or kind of like update in general for this. So it just unfortunately is what it is. And we hope there's more information. But again, it's like on a list of things that need to be dealt with by Kabam. So at the point of getting this video recorded, we are about 24 hours into the release of, and we're approaching 48 hours by the time the video is out. But we're about kind of at the end point of this first stretch of Alliance Coliseum. Unfortunately for me, I do feel that it has that kind of like too much of a high emphasis and grind in a very short space of time, which does become problematic because you can literally farm it to absolute death. And it's difficult because you kind of, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, and I got to do that in game, whether it be battlegrounds, whether other stuff that you've just got to do, and you've just got to be kind of proactive with it. So it's tough to find the time. New event quest launches. We've got side quests to think of, stuff that people are trying to catch up on, arena farming. There's a lot of stuff to get done in the world of Marvel Contest of Champions. And definitely, I think this is a great point right here by Raquel Hopsky. That's a great name. Probably saying it wrong. I have no idea if anyone's thought this would be fun. I would rather do regular AQ that I can do in a grand total of 20 minutes across 24 hours. I have zero interest in doing the same fight over and over and over to level up my podium to get a higher enough score that my alliance deems acceptable. This isn't fun, it's torture. And I think that's going to be a good takeaway. One thing that I really would have liked to have seen is a more of a test run, because there's implications if you don't do enough for your alliance. I'm even like thinking now, whilst I'm recording this video, I should be playing it. And that is because like I need to contribute enough. Yes, it's going to be about 3 mil to, or just under 3 mil to clear everybody's involvement. So I need to be proactive. But at the same time, performance is going to be important for the future. Is this a good showcase piece for what is the future? Is it scary? Is it going to be heavily grinded by certain alliances? Are you going to have the time for this? Is it taking more of a time sink than others? Because then you kind of go, if it's 5 days of 20 minutes investment into this one, that is, we can do the math, can't we? So that's 1 hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, 1 hour, 40 minutes. So does that seem like that's like, what, like 20 minutes in general? I suppose it's a bit less than that. So 1 hour, 40 minutes. Could you sit there for 1 hour, 40 minutes farming this mode and then parking it for the rest of the week? Do you feel that you're going to have to, like, over 2 days or 3 days, whatever it is, then play more because you feel you have to be invested? And what does this mean for the solo side of things? I think a lot of questions are definitely going to come out from this when it comes to it, but it definitely seems that that is the extent of feeling, especially if you go to this particular thread, which I link is in the description. And yeah, there's also a bit more to this that meets the eye with Coliseum podium token. So this is another post that kind of like goes from that story to this story, which is we've identified an inconsistency with the Coliseum podium upgrade token offers appearing in game and the web store. Due to this, we'll be taking the following steps, which is all Coliseum podium tokens offers will be temporarily disabled, both in-game and the web store. Every player purchased a podium upgrade during this will automatically receive the proper number of tokens. So that's the bug for that one. Additionally, because this issue created an unintended imbalance in podium progression, we're taking next steps to fix this disparity. Every player will receive enough resources to fully upgrade all 5 podiums to maximum level. With this, the XP requirements for the inaugural Coliseum event will be significantly reduced, so everyone can enjoy the new game mode with less grind than normal. That is good, but I think it's definitely something that needs to be kind of further looked into and addressed. But also the compensation. Like we have got, by the time I'm recording this, as I said, it's Thursday. We're limited time and it's gone. So time is going to be of the essence. We need that compensation. We need it now, but also the impact on it on kind of like farming. It's a lot of stress that it's kind of been put on players. In personally, I think it's the wrong time of the year. This should be something maybe, you know, and a dummy run in. A dummy run is basically like, you know, in for just testing purposes in the game for like, I don't know, the solo. Maybe the solo would have been good to kind of put in early. As in, like, there's not a huge amount of rewards. It's test. And maybe for the test, you get something back as a result. But that is why I think that there's kind of like been a bit of an issue with how the structure's been with it. Of course, interesting what your perspective is of the mode. I like it. I like the mode. But what I don't like is what I said in my video on Wednesday, which was I felt that there's just too much of the grind has come back. And I want Kabam to save me time more in the game so I can play other things and have time to do stuff like farm arena, you know. And for those that I think sometimes have got more time to play the game, that's good. But then for others, it's kind of sucks. If you're a casual to this game, you probably feel the kind of like the pressure a lot more, which is something I hope in 2026 Kabam really realize more. You know, they got a little bit better than sometimes I'm like, did I actually, you know, how was this tested out? Because people are testing it out, QA, whatever it is, testing it out so much. It's like it gives an unfair representation of what everybody's able to experience in game. The casual players, the very casual players, the high grinders, bit of a difference there. Because if you're high grind, you might be more engaged with this. So next up, and strategy, sticking with Coliseum, funnily enough, and strategy around it. Interested from Kabam Crash, who said North Star is good for the fight. This, of course, is the first tag of the first section of things that you choose. I think it's first day worth of the 3 podiums. He's ramped. His specials are unlocked, which is really helpful for opening against Adam. White Tiger has 2 tags and really cooks. Yeah, so a lot of people kind of using White Tiger. Yeah, a White Tiger only has 1. I thought White Tiger had 2 tags. But anyway, moving on, other strategy. You've probably seen in some of the imagery that Count Nefaria is next up who you're facing off, which I'm like a bit, okay. So on response to mastery setups, and also what strategy around masteries are Kabam using or have used. So Kabam Crash said there are no plans for Coliseum mastery setup, and I can say based on testing there is also no optimal setup that will work for every Coliseum. This is, again, another kind of thing where I feel that because there was pressure to perform in this particular Coliseum as the first one, it's not exactly great and does feel a bit frustrating. Having a dummy run, having a test run would have been good, because then at least for testing things like mastery switches and other stuff, you kind of like have a bit more time. You would have had if Kabam put a dummy run in. The first fight for most champions, you probably don't want suicides. But for the next run of the next event, Nefaria, all our top scores were set with suicides on. So what you want will vary event to event. And again, that's difficult because you could say like, oh, well, are we talking about a 5-minute recoil activation fest where you're just taking a load of damage? Is it then, okay, well, I could do SP3 rotation based champions based on the tags applicable. But then again, is it not applicable for the tag? Something that I pointed out in Wednesday's video was Kabam want you to do tags, but a lot of the champions setting the highest scores in the performance are not necessarily tagged-based champions. there's a lot of questions still that need to be answered, and I think a lot of understanding that players need to have with this nude mode going in. And as I said, it's always best to do test runs first, and test runs being Kabam set something out that's not necessarily restrictive. But at least you might change your mastery setup for Count Nefaria, which is something I'm not too much of a fan of, mainly because it's a loss of 30 units each time if you set your masteries to one, then back to the other. It's like, can be quite costly. It's 60 units maybe to certain players, and you have to go farm arena to then top up the units, or wait a couple of days to kind of refarm back the 60 units through Super Daily event. And now onto the Purgatory situation. So something I hinted at in a few videos, and something that did, honestly, there's so much going on in this game at the moment. There was again, bunny ears exploit with Purgatory, or a bug with Purgatory, that basically allowed her to kind of do exponential amounts of damage, and of course be very frustrating as a result for it. And yeah, like, it is very much different than the crystal bug. Of course it is. Is it in the player's favor? Yes. But then again, like, I wonder why Unduped Purgatory was clearing me in Battlegrounds so fast this morning, dropped a bit in GC because of this, and that's the implications and impact, is that players would have been affected by what was a just more powerful Purgatory in any case. But also EOP, people were saying about that, using a champion, like some of this end game piece of content that the champion is being kind of like, well, just demolishing through. Purgatory is just demolishing through content. And as a result, like, what do Kabam deal with this, or do with this? Like, will there be any kind of like repercussions? At this stage, it's unknown. But this bug was seen. I don't know how this bug came into fruition. It probably something that somebody went at the start of the week, new update came in. Purgatory, nuts. Didn't realize. Then some people realized, then it spread out with people, and then other people knew. Then obviously Kabam were made aware of it. They were made aware 9th or 10th of December. I don't know when it is, but there was a vast difference between mistakenly opening incorrect crystals and intentionally exploiting a bug to complete Everest content. The team worked on a fix overnight, and it's now live. Purgatory is working properly. But as well, there's not really any kind of follow-up on, will people be punished as a result? I would go with no, unless Kabam deem that somebody has kind of gone a little bit above and beyond to punish. But then I think the ending point to this is like, maybe it was only just a few people that kind of used the bug to kind of excessively exploit. If there's any follow-up, I'll let you know, but it doesn't look like Kabam are following up any exploit-related bans at this stage. If you have got banned, though, do reach out. But like I said, people would have reached out. I would have seen something. And if it is, it's only a small amount of people, but it doesn't look like it. Our final bit of coverage today is on Anniversary PRG-gated the Awakening Gem crystal issues. Now, for some reason, there seems to be a bit of an issue. So it's these ones right here, the Awakening Gem shards. I think actually it might be some shard-related issues as well. So when you claim it, it's not popping up in-game for you to see. And by the time you see this video, fingers crossed Kabam have actually dealt with it. The time in which it was reported was Wednesday late. So that was probably about in the PMs, like between 10 and 11 PM. Someone at Kabam did let me know that that had been reported in that kind of time frame. And then it would probably be something you've seen, like Kabam will probably post it, say acknowledge it's a problem, and then it will likely be dealt with. So either you want to go claim these now, or you want to hold off on them. And that, again, is like, some people will reach this point. I'd say for those that haven't claimed them yet, don't claim them. Just hold on to them for the moment. This stuff right here, you know, see out your 12 hours, then wait. Then kind of like wait for the comms, Kabam's official comms on it. As I said, probably's come out by now. So at least you'll get an idea of when it's acceptable, or not acceptable, when it's okay to go claim them, because it won't be bugged. But we'll have to see what happens at some point. There'll probably be something Kabam talk about. Anyway, that's been it for the show for today. As I said, there'll be a lot of things that will change context-wise, because that's the thing at the moment. There's lots of bugs, problems, issues, and stuff happening. So context is going to be changing hour on hour, and by the time you see this video, there's probably context changes as well. But thanks for those that come and support the content, and we'll try and update you with everything and anything whenever possible. I'll see you soon, and goodbye.